When you get these development programs and kind of going back towards the top of the conversation, like being a data-driven HR leader, I think now it's apparent and obvious, right? Like here we are, like all this money's flowing in, but like back the train up, like when you guys first started, like how did you get that like initial kind of kickoff to really invest in those spaces when it wasn't so obvious? I think maybe post-COVID is probably the moment where a lot of the attention flipped to the frontline workforce, but like clearly you guys have been investing in helping kind of reskill and upskill your workers for years. Tell us a little bit about kind of before and what you used to get those programs kicked off.
Yeah, I think definitely, BorgWarner wants to be a progressive company. We have to, look on what the outside, who are our competitors, what they're doing, what are the demands. And I think there's been just a lot of research and know-how into, hey, we've known electrification is coming. How have other companies or even other countries, I mean, we talk about China, we talk about, Europe, you see a lot more electric vehicles in those countries than you would do so here, maybe in the US. But it's really preparing yourself and not, because if you're going to put your head in the sand and not listen or not learn, then I think, you're definitely going to be behind. And I definitely think, we have grown our business organically and inorganically, and we've acquired a large number of businesses. And when we actually, ironically, we acquired Delphi Technologies, we doubled the size of our workforce, and we had to be strategic about what we are acquiring. And I think pivoting now to maybe smaller businesses, you're acquiring talent. Okay, the talent that you're acquiring, how can you cross, maybe instead of buying more talent in the marketplace, how can you do some cross training with employees to be more agile, mainly mechanical, electrical, learning from others, and how other companies manufacture, how they perform their work.
I like that BorgWarner really does provide the opportunity to learn. I think that's kind of what I've learned from your background, Cathy, in terms of you had so many different roles. You kind of started off wide up versus you pick one role and you go up. I think that really does speak to an organization like BorgWarner. Obviously, you had those opportunities in earlier companies that you worked for, but I think that speaks to having a little bit more of a critical eye, a critical questioning eye towards how do we approach this problem? How do we approach this challenge? You can kind of think of it in a very different way because you're not just in your HR lens. You've had different roles that have helped you really think outside the box more, which I think is great.